I suffer from an extremely rare type of muscular dystrophy, and I have to take medication or I'll die. Right now I weigh less than 80 pounds. I have all my life. I have support of 5 of my doctors saying that I am living proof that medical marijuana works. I am completely against legalizing it for everyone, but there is medical purposes for it.
And you have synthetic marijuana that's available and other pain medications?
It makes me sick. I have tried it and it makes me throw up. I have tried all the medications there are and all the forms that come in, appetite stimulators or steroids. I have muscular dystrophy that's completely against my DNA.
I'm sorry to hear that.
My question for you is, will you arrest me and my doctors if I get medical marijuana?
I'm not in favor of medical marijuana being
So will
legal
you have me arrested?
How are you?
Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Will you please answer my question?
Will you have? Wait, are you not going to answer his question, Governor?
I think I have. I'm not.
No, he asked you if you were going to arrest. He asked if you were going to arrest patients like him, Governor. You're going to just ignore a person in a wheelchair?
Threatening federal raids against medical marijuana patients like myself. I have recently asked Rudy Giuliani and Mitt Romney about the subject, and instead of answering my questions, they turned their backs to me. I was wondering if you could tell me how you are a better candidate for the medical marijuana patients like myself.
I would absolutely never use the federal government to enforce the law against anybody using marijuana.
But yes, in essence, if I leave it to the states, it's going to be up to the states. Up until this past century, you know, for over 100 years they were legal. What you're inferring is, you know what? If we legalized heroin tomorrow, everybody's going to use heroin. How many people here would use heroin if it was legal? I bet nobody would put to hand, oh yeah, I need the government to take care of me. I don't want to use heroin, so I need these laws.
Well, your people out there in the crowd certainly agree with that, but let me ask you, as a citizen of Texas, if that came up for a vote, if you had a vote on the issue as a citizen supporting a candidate or whatever, do you think the state of Texas should legalize heroin and prostitution?
I think that under the right circumstances, we should legalize freedom, and that is part of it. As long as people don't force things on other people, I don't feel threatened by that. It's sort of like legalizing gambling. I don't gamble and I don't get involved, but I'm not going to take that right away from you. So all these things are things that you can do in a free society. But today I gave a long talk about this very issue, and I emphasized the fact that the reason I argued for freedom of choice is I want people to decide what medications they can take, and whether they want alternative medicine, whether they can drink raw milk, whether they can use marijuana when they're sick, and that we shouldn't depend on the government for that guidance. But if you
But we make up 25% of jailed prisoners. Even though these prisoners may have been sentenced by some court for some offense, should they be behind bars? Here's the thing. We have now over 3,000, the number must be much higher than that, but over 3,000 federal crimes. And every time the liberals pass a bill, I don't care what it involves, they stick criminal sanctions on it. They don't feel that there's any way that people are going to keep a law unless they can put them in jail. And so we have the jails filled with people who are white-collar criminals. And I became sort of a hero of the hippie culture, I guess, when I said I think we ought to decriminalize the possession of marijuana. I just think it's shocking how many of these young people wind up in prison and they get turned into hardcore criminals because they have had possession of a very small amount of a controlled substance. I mean, the whole thing is crazy.